They run with a second-round pick from Iowa State. This is Breece Hall. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
From the 27, Wilson. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Deion Jones. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
On third down, Wilson. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. This defense for the Jets, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, and tackling, that's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And he stopped immediately there. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down. A shotgun snap for Watson. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. The Browns had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that, because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. A nice gain there to his trusty tight end, and now it's got them thinking opening drive touchdown here as they get into the red zone.
And in most cases with your tight end, you feel like you've got a mismatch no matter who's covering it. Is it a small cornerback? Is it a linebacker who may not run as touchdown?
David Njoku, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Browns use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Berrios going to bring this out of the end zone. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving. Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
To throw again on second down. Wilson to the right side, and he's got more complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Wilson and Moore there for a Jets first. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 39, Wilson. He finds his man complete. It's Wilson. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now it's 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. Throw left side complete. That's Wilson. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 43. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
Throwing quickly to Wilson. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
They'll run. It's Hall. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. The play fake. Here's Wilson. Got a man. It's caught at the 6-yard line. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Elijah Moore really started to come on in the 2021 season as a rookie out of Ole Miss. Saw 8 or more targets in 4 of his last 5 games and ended up leading the team in yardage. Expect to see a lot more first downs like we just saw there in this young man's future.
Taking in left side, it's Wilson. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. Wilson on the keeper, and I don't think he got in. The big bodies up front held him at the 1. Officially no gain on the sneak, kind of a wasted play there, and now it's 3rd down.
Now that was a little too conservative for my liking. It's only 2nd down, and they try to run the sneak. Give credit to the defense. They pushed him back and set up 3rd down.
Robinson, and this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And this is picked up by the Browns. He's at the 50. The 30. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
I know many talk about the kick return as maybe the most exciting play in football, but any type of a return where it's a change of possession, where the defense gets the ball, that's exciting too, but it's not just an accident. Once they get the football, they've worked on finding people to block, creating running lanes for the guy with the ball, and protecting him. And this one was a long run.
Absolutely, they did all of that and more. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Well, we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit, both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
Throw left side, there's Schwartz with it. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Over the middle, that's caught by Schwartz. Touchdown, Browns! Anthony Schwartz, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Browns have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Berrios now from his end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Wilson fires quickly for Davis. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Wilson on the hook up to Davis. First down, Jets. Straight ahead is Hall. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Malik Jackson there to make the stop.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder coming up at halftime. We'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. Now Wilson on second down. And pass complete to Moore. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route. And he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. John Johnson with the INT. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Wow, this one, it is getting out of hand early. They add a pick 6 to the ledger now. 3-score lead still in the first half.
And all that celebrating that you see and hear from those defenders is not just because they scored a touchdown on a pick 6. It's because they're pitching a shutout in this one. Every defender's dream.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Now whistles come in before the snap. Looked like one of the Jets may have moved. The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now Wilson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
On 2nd and 15 now. Wilson. Open man is Uzama. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
And coach is always hard on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Oh, hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. And Chubb will try the middle here. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Watson off play action. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half. And the Browns continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point by York is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Things for them, just to put it bluntly, man, it has been tough sledding here in the first half, facing that big deficit. The clock is dwindling now. Maybe if they can get something on the board here before intermission, they'll have at least a little momentum heading into the second half.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw going to be caught by Davis.
And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash, this from 53. Zerline's kick is up and through, and that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime here in Cleveland with the Browns on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
Second down, here's Chubb again. And some room to roam now. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. This offense certainly looking a lot more comfortable here at home. They lost last week in the opener on the road, but there's something about that home opener makes you feel more settled.
Yeah, I wish we could quantify it, too, because you're playing the same game. The field's the same, size. We know all of that. But being at home, sometimes when you do things well, you get that extra push from your home fans, and it elevates your game.
And in the driver's seat right now, the Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Berrios going to bring this out of the end zone. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. The CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. Let's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to...
And intercepted. Wilson's third of the game. Greedy Williams picks it off. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
129 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain, the next 2 to 3 seconds to continue to move people.
Faking the give, now Watson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. John Franklin Myers, the one in there to drop him.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. They go up the middle with Chubb. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. Caught the defense off guard there a bit on second and long, but now you still have to deal with third and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one, that maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
On third down, it's Nick Chubb. And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the first down. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down. York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, the only silver lining on the other sideline, CD, is that they kept him out of the end zone, but still, that's another 3 points added on to this large lead.
He had no shortage of scoring or big plays on defense in this one. And even up by 4 possessions, still finding ways to create opportunities and capitalize with points.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. Hall ought to give up the middle.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break, contain, and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Moore. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. Touchdown, Jets.
Garrett Wilson,
his 2nd touchdown on the season.
And the Jets are able to claw one back.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. Still comfortably on top, 3rd quarter as they start things here with a 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
2nd down, here's Chubb again.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 3 quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Things looking much rosier for them here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. Chubb on the counter. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory.
157 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he has the 1st down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. And again, it's Chubb. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, it doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it. They've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Wilson. Finding more on the out route for the completion. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. From midfield now, here's Wilson. Throw right side, caught by Davis. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. This will wind up a loss on the play. And that'll
the quick throw there outside the numbers, and you can feel the thought process. They just wanted to get in his hands and let him make a play. But how about the job they did defensively to keep him bottled up? Instead, they tackle him for a loss.
Here we go. It's Wilson on fourth down. He finds his man complete. It's Wilson. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Again, Wilson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it.
Talk about two sides of the ball across purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Wilson to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
York now for the extra point.
Oh, and it's no good. He tugged it wide left, and that will keep our score right where it is. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, it's caught inside the 25. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
Now Zerline on to add the extra point. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have two, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
183 yards rushing for him now in the afternoon as he continues to put a hurt on this defense.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
They run it again with Chubb.
To about the 35, second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. That's to the right side and complete to Njoku. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
Watson to Njoku there for the Cleveland first.
They give the Chubb out of the gun. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Second down, here's Chubb again.
And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Cleveland, they make amends for their Week 1 loss by winning their home opener. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Cincinnati Bengals.
I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible, impossible. Shine if I want to. I win every time if I want to. The world mine if I want to. Make the world mine cause I want to. I pull the sword out the border, walk a floor full of cobras. Go to war with you all, we can brawl toe to toe. I can tighten loops in my lace and make lightning lose in a race. I make fire cool and come back from the triangle in Bermuda. I can suit up, live in the moon up, working and outsmarting computers. I can outswim all the tuna.